Cover your face. Get away! Whoa!
The government says this man, Gaetano Gallo, known as Tommy, is a loan shark and an extortionist for the Colombo crime family. But his mother says he's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love him. Yes.
In a crackdown on organized crime, federal agents arrested more than 120 people Thursday.
This is one of the largest single-day operations against the Mafia in the FBI's history.
But the feds say the Italian Mafia, known as La Cosa Nostra, is still pervasive. Those arrested have nicknames like Jello, Meatball, Vinny Car Wash, Fang, Marbles, Lumpy, and The Grinder. The Gambino crime family controlled all cocaine sales in the borough of Queens. They also stand accused of trafficking in ecstasy and marijuana and extorting small businesses. The government says the Mafia continues to make millions upon millions of dollars per year. Much of it siphoned from legitimate business.
This case is a Nassau County police detective. He's charged with obstruction of justice and lying to the FBI.
Two of New York's biggest mafia families sitting side by side today in this federal court here in Brooklyn behind me, accused of running an illegal gambling ring inside of a coffee house, a soccer club, and other nondescript businesses all around Queens and Long Island. Today, 7 members of the Genovese and Bonanno crime families were hauled into court on charges of racketeering, money laundering, operating an illegal gambling ring, and at least in one case, obstruction of justice. One was an alleged mob captain, another a detective with the Nassau County Police Department. New Yorkers with nicknames like Joe Fish, Sal the Shoemaker, Joe Box, and Little Anthony, all on bail tonight. The feds say this started in May 2012 in a coffee shop in Lynbrook, New York, and it proved to be so lucrative it spread to other storefronts. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, quote, the defendants tried to hide their criminal activity by operating from behind the cover of a coffee bar, a soccer club, and a shoe repair shop. Even more disturbing is the shameful conduct of a detective who betrayed his oath of office and the honest men and women of the Nassau County Police Department, with Carmen Polito, who was not in court today, allegedly telling a mob soldier that if one of the debtors didn't pay up, quote, he was going to put him under a bleeping bridge. The indictment didn't say which bridge he was referring to.
Mafia-related law enforcement search stretching from New York City to the Orange County suburbs.
The FBI and NYPD using diggers and hand tools to search 2 farms.
They're searching a 46-acre horse farm as part of a probe into the Gambino crime family. The FBI and NYPD are looking for, quote, contraband.
It tells you a bunch of things.
Retired NYPD detective Tom Howell happens to live across the street from the site of the search.
It could be guns, could be bodies, could be drugs. Who knows what's in there, if there's anything.
We've learned 2 Orange County properties are being targeted as part of a probe into the activities of the Gambino crime family. The second, 15 minutes away in Campbell Hall. Tuesday search activity at the Campbell Hall farm. Some investigators had metal detectors. Neighbors say odd activity happened here at all hours.
Bus stretches from New York to the Carolinas. The FBI has arrested an alleged top-level enforcer of the infamous Colombo crime family.
75-year-old Vincent Ricciardo spent the night in the Mecklenburg County jail, but he'll soon be transferred up to New York to answer charges of racketeering, extortion, and money laundering. According to the FBI, Ricciardo, who goes by the nickname Vinny Unions, was an enforcer for the infamous Colombo crime family, one of New York's 5 mafia families. For the last 20 years, he and nearly a dozen other top leaders of the mob family allegedly extorted a New York City labor union. And Vinny Union had a violent way of working. The FBI says they have recordings of Ricciardo threatening to kill a union official. I'll put him in the ground, right in front of his wife and kids, Ricciardo allegedly says in the tape. It's not clear how long he has lived in Union County. Prosecutors say this massive mob bust shows that the mafia is still alive and well in the United States. Ryan Kruger, Fox 46.
Side investigation about a mob associate who survived numerous botched assassination attempts before being gunned down in a restaurant parking lot.
Today, the man charged with the murder learned his fate.
He had a desk job by day, working as a job recruiter.
But at night, Bushan Shelton was a Bloods gang member, and someone recruited him to kill Sylvester Satola.
It was an old-fashioned hit right out of a mobster movie.
The target of that hit, a businessman with a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio, a father of 3, and a mob associate, friends with Vinny Gorgeous of the Bonanno crime family.
Does the mob still exist today?
Very much so.
But police and prosecutors had a hunch from the beginning. The mob wasn't behind it. Too many mistakes. First, surveillance video shows Satola getting punched to the ground and beaten outside his Bronx home back in September of 2017. He survives. Then someone breaks into his home a few months later and slashes his throat. He pulls through. Later in 2018, a gunman points a gun at his head, but it jams and Satola fires back.
He lived in fear for the last year of his life. There is no doubt about that.
His car, and then the son literally rolls away from death.
It was just a series of mistake after mistake after mistake, but they kept going.
But Satola couldn't escape death in October of 2018 when entering a McDonald's drive-thru, shot multiple times after ordering a cup of coffee.
And what happened there? Some guy got shot in the parking lot.
A tracking device on his car and cell phone messages led police to the man behind the hit.
One thing I can say is I had a feeling you were coming.
Sylvester's own son, his youngest, Anthony. Prosecutors said Anthony hired Shelton to do his dirty work, and Shelton then hired other gang members to pull the trigger.
I'm taking him to his favorite place, McDonald's, then a movie, LOL.
In 2 mob hits targeting a father and son. One of the suspects in what the prosecutors say was a murder-for-hire plot knew the victims quite well. He is the dead father's other son. News 4's Michael George is live at the courthouse.
Says Satola was behind the hit on his father, 71-year-old Sylvester Satola, gunned down in a Bronx McDonald's drive-thru last fall. Anthony's son was also shot and wounded in an attempted murder caught on camera, but he survived. Now, the motive has not been released, but court documents include texts in which Anthony said his father and brother were ruining his business. Satola allegedly used a code to plan the murders, referring to the victims as actors. Listen to this text he allegedly sent to the hitman. He wrote, quote, "How are we looking with the filming? It's gotten real cold over here. I hope you can get the actor to work." Again, according to prosecutors, actor refers to the victims of these hits that he allegedly arranged. Now, again, all of those arrested, a total of 8 alleged co-conspirators have entered pleas of not guilty.